dun, 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 dun.
Oh, we're gonna get sued now.
All right, yeah, stop.
That's
Everybody
as much
stop.
as we can do.
Dun, dun,
Hey,
dun,
welcome back, Sinvicta. I swear to God. All right. Welcome back. Well, I first called this 3 guys talk about football. Now it's 4 guys talk about football.
You can keep calling it that. You can call it 3 guys talk about football, and then sometimes this other guy shows up.
Yeah, right.
No, it's got to be
All right,
3
yeah.
guys and a bear talk about football.
Oh, 3. Oh, that actually sounds like a pretty good podcast.
That sounds like a morning radio
guys
show.
and a
3
bear.
guys and a bear.
Yeah, just think of the posters.
It does.
Think of the posters, the
I love it.
merchandising. Coach, we got to get on this.
We do. Well, listen, just recommend names if you got names in the chat or comments, wherever the
You
thing
know it's
happens.
all going to be 3 guys and a bear. You know it's already.
It'll probably be 3 guys and a bear. And even sometimes, maybe a guy will be missing or a bear isn't here, but it doesn't matter. It'll still be called that.
Yeah,
That's
that's what the audience
all
is
right.
for.
So let's hop right into the game of the week, Jets-Browns, and the Browns with the victory. Rob, take it
I
away.
love
All
it's
right.
called the game of the week. That makes it.
Game of the week, Thursday night.
All right. So, well, hey, let's start off with me gloating a little bit because I was right in my prediction last week. Not that the Jets would win, but that Sam Darnold was going to be running for his life all night. And he was. Myles Garrett had 2 sacks. I don't think our offensive line played actually yesterday or Thursday, whatever it was.
Thursday, Rob. Thursday.
Yeah.
You went a little time loop there.
It's a very long weekend after that game.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, it's not like, look, I can talk about a lot of things that happened in that game, but it is very much just the classic Jets loss. It's the Jets tearing defeat from the iron jaws of victory, and it was our play calling was atrocious. I mean, we have this new OC, Jeremy Bates, and I understand, right? Like the game plan was get Quincy Enunwa the ball. That's pretty much the entire fucking game plan, right? It was
Right.
just throw screens to Quincy Enunwa and hope he makes plays. And you know what? He did. But after you see that's not working anymore, you got to adjust. And this is something that Todd Bowles has never been good at. He's been here for 4 years already now, right? I've seen a lot of Todd Bowles games. He's bad with clock management, but look, people look past it because that's Andy Reid's bad with clock management. He's been coaching for 30 years and he still fucks up the clock sometimes, but he's got the best offense in football. So whatever, sure, we'll look past that.
I like to imagine his whole playbook is just all screens to Quincy. He's like, all right, what do we got? It's like, you got something else? It's like, yeah.
The meme on the Jets subreddit is like, ooh, that screen to Quincy Enunwa didn't work. Let's try a run to the left. And that's it. And that was our playbook, is screen and run to the left. That's it.
Now, you had to know that the entire world was rooting for the Browns, right? Except for
look,
Jets Nation.
I'll tell you the truth. I was rooting for the Browns too. I said it last week. I said it last week. I am the Browns are my second AFC team. I'm happy to see them win. Obviously not this way. Where because again, it's a classic Jets loss, right? That's what I was kind of getting at. Is it's we were winning. We're up 14-3 at the half, and then they scored. It ends up 21, whatever it was, 17. Because Todd Bowles played extremely conservative. He played not to lose rather than playing to win. It was very clear when Baker stepped in that the team was different. The team was different. I mean, Tyrod. Look, I like Tyrod. I've defended Tyrod many times on the internet, but he was looking. I mean, it was the worst first half of a game that he's ever had.
Just so everyone's clear, Tyrod Taylor had 4 for 22 attempts for an average of 5.5 yards per.
Did he even
solid
have...
first half. Solid
Wow,
first
that's
half.
crazy. I mean, and the way that he was getting beat was. See, this is when I knew when Baker stepped in and he made that first throw. I knew we were going to lose the game because what we were doing with Tyrod is we were getting a lot of edge pressure, right? We were blitzing our outside linebacker. We were blitzing safeties. We were blitzing corners. We were blitzing out of the secondary. And these guys were coming in, and they were free rushers. And I was sitting there, like the people who watched the game with me in my chat could tell you, like I was sitting there and I'm like, the numbers are wrong, Tyrod. Like you gotta change your protections. Like I can see that sitting at home. Obviously, it's gonna be a lot. I'm an art, like I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, but
The Madden.
right. But at the same time, like if you've got 6 guys on the left and you've only got your 3 offensive linemen and your running back is split out to the right, obviously you're not going to pick up that blitz if he's coming. And if he is coming, then you got to know where that hole is, because if the linebacker's not dropping back into coverage, you could hit the hole. And that's exactly what Baker did on like his first play. We came with an all-out pressure. We came off the edge, and he hit the hole exactly where that linebacker would have been in his zone. And then we did that a couple more times, and then we didn't get any pressure the rest of the night because obviously our game plan was just out the window. We couldn't adjust. So.
For the record, that was
is,
Taylor's rushing stats, by the way. His actual passing stats were 4 for 14 for 19 yards.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought
Still not good.
Well, I thought I'd point out the rushing one because his where the average comes from is from the longest run, which was, take a wild guess, 22 yards.
Right. Yeah.
So,
Well, here's my big thing is like Baker Mayfield came in and he looked like Brett Favre, like reincarnated.
Yeah.
yep.
And I was like, what happened that made him not start the season? I
Hugh
was
Jackson.
just like, why?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I-
Like, was he just like, we'll go with the veteran, let him sit, and then
You know what?
put him in at some point?
I know people are shitting on Hugh for not starting him before that, but I don't entirely blame him. Look, Tyrod, he's a good person to be mentored by, and let's be completely honest too. Tyrod and Baker, at least if you're looking at his college production, right? I mean, granted,
Mhm.
Tyrod's never thrown for the amount of yardage that Baker did in college, but they play a very similar game, right? Like Tyrod
Mhm.
plays like very safe with the football, like Baker in college. At least again in college, it's college stats, so it doesn't matter. But again, in college, like he was throwing high volume passes, and he wasn't missing. He wasn't throwing a lot of picks. Like he was just hitting touchdowns. And Tyrod does the same thing, right? Like he plays very safe with the football. I mean, he's not taking big shots like Baker does, but so and he's been in the league. He's been on like what, 3 teams now, Tyrod.
I think 3.
Yeah, and he's started in a bunch of games. I mean, he's a great person to get mentorship from. So
He's a lot of the reason Buffalo made it to the playoffs last year.
oh, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
The fact that they sat him for freaking Nathan Peterman is just absurd.
And look at him now.
I
Look at
know.
those Bills now.
Yeah.
Flying
Well,
high.
Yeah.
Took the
seriously.
game off the Vikings. Who saw that one coming?
yeah.
Well, that game, I turned on the TV because I was watching the Packer game, and I was like, all right, let's see. I was like, wait, the Vikings is that right? They're losing 17 to
Yeah,
nothing
I thought
in the
I thought
first
that they
quarter?
switched up the team logos when I saw that. I was like, "There's no
Yeah.
way!" Like these it is the Bills that we're talking about, right?
Yeah. And
But I guess
sorry, go on.
like Josh Allen actually looked pretty legit, like from what I was seeing against the Vikings, who were like,
Yeah.
they're not a joke
Yeah,
defense.
They're not a
or
bad
anything.
team. They got beat by the Bills.
Yeah.
Now the real question is, which loss is more embarrassing? The Jets lost to the Browns or the Vikings lost to the Bills at home?
I think the
Well, the
Browns
thing-
with Baker Mayfield are not a bad team.
I don't think so. Either.
I agree.
Yeah. I said
I think
this at the start
Their
of the
defense is
season,
solid.
and I'm sure that I'm probably going to be proven wrong. But I said this at the beginning of the season. I think the Browns are a minimum 7-win team this year, straight
yeah,
up.
they're only like 4 or 5 plays from like being like 2-1.
They've
Yeah.
had
Mhm.
2.5 first round picks for like the past 4 years. Like they've got crazy amount of talent on
Their
that
time's
team.
coming, Rob.
I'm just saying, Sashi Brown died for this. Is all. All right. So, hey,
Man, Mike Holmgren tried rebuilding that too.
Yeah, I remember that. That was great.
I forgot all about
Yeah.
that. But the Vikings, a lot of people were saying the Vikings took the week off because they got to play Thursday for the Rams.
right.
So they were like, yeah, we'll just,
Ooh.
whatever happens, and we play the Rams.
Actually, that reminds me. I have an excuse for the Jets.
All
And
right,
in fairness, it's an excuse, but it's
All
a
right, I'm-
very good excuse in my opinion.
waiting intently for this one, Rob. Let me get closer to the The microphone.
So the Jets probably like okay. Look, strength of schedule aside, we had pretty much the toughest first 3 weeks of football in the league because they had 3
You had
games.
to play the Browns for God's sake.
Yeah.
No.
He was to
No,
play the
but-
Browns in week 3.
Hear me out. They had 3 games in 11 days. 11 days. That's like
That's tough, yeah.
That's insane. That's
That's
3
true.
games in less than 2 weeks. I mean, especially for a rookie QB. You know.
I mean, the other problem here with the Jets, I mean, like, I didn't watch a lot of their games, admittedly, this year, and, you know, with good reason, because it's the Jets. But I think overall, you gotta pin it on one big issue, don't you? And it's the fact that the quarterback's name is Darnold.
Yeah.
It's
His
a
name's
pretty stupid name.
Darnold, Rob.
He's got a doopy face
Darnold.
too.
I
Well,
told
you know
you
what?
that's what the kids do to make fun of some kid named Arnold and like
He's
Hey,
gonna haunt your
Arnold, boy.
nightmares.
Darnold.
20 years, Bear. He's gonna haunt your nightmares. I hope
I've
you're
got a
prepared.
weird ass name too, man. My name's Larrabee. No one's letting me get away with that for a while. But Darnold, that's just you can't be a quarterback.
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
you can't mispronounce your last name though. Like it's pretty easy to remember.
Barely.
That's
My
true,
last
yes.
name, I get called everything from something Mexican to something Samoan, and everything in
that
between.
sounds fun.
Yeah.
I don't even know your name, to be
well,
honest with you.
Sorry, this is a legitimate football conversation show,
This
right?
is-
My bad. I didn't mean to.
That's
I mean,
absolutely
listen,
fine.
half
It's very
half
casual.
the fun of football, half the fun of football is the player's name.
That's
Yeah.
true, yeah.
And the other
It's
half
not
is
wrong.
making fun of your friends' football teams.
Yeah.
That makes up the entirety of football, I think. Yeah.
Important to note, Bear
You guys
Chappie
think-
is a Patriots fan. I just
Yes.
want
Yes.
everyone to be
Yeah,
Oh
aware.
we didn't
yeah,
mention that
that's disgusting.
You want to get into that? We
Um,
can talk about the Patriots losing again and the sky is falling
Well,
down.
We'll get to the Patriots right after this question, which is: do you think the Bills are actually for real now? Did they flip the switch, or is it just a fluke? win?
Absolutely not.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
I think it's
Well, I'm kind of scared because they play the Packers next week, and I don't trust the Packers
Well,
right
the Packers are playing they're playing a different kind of football right now. I don't know what's going on with Clay Matthews.
now. All right, oh, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. We'll get to that.
I think the NFL Circle of Parody demands games now and then, like the Bills Vikings, or maybe even the upcoming Bills Packers. So we'll see
Yeah.
how it goes.
Look,
That's
hey,
true.
I'll tell you what.
So-
before the draft, I was a big hater of Josh Allen. I don't dislike him as a person, but like I really didn't see anything there. In that game,
He hurdled a
in
man.
that game, he looked like
He
Cam Newton.
hurdled
He
a
looked
man.
like Cam Newton straight up.
Yeah.
Like, he looked good. If he can do that every week, then they got a good QB.
Yeah. So the Lions beat the Patriots, and that's another game I did not expect to happen. But at the same time, we play the Lions twice a year, and the Lions are kind of like the Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. One week they're like the shittiest team, the next week they can beat anybody.
They got Matthew Stafford, man. Like
Matt
he's
Stafford.
a discount Big Ben, seriously, and
Yeah.
he's able to pull off some shit that you just do not expect a dude that looks like that to pull off.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm with you. The Lions are always a tough play, and I was going into this fully expecting us to win this game, but I've watched this movie before as a Patriots fan. You know, like we've
Oh, yeah.
gone 1-2 before. We've lost 2 games early on in the season multiple times. And multiple times we've gone on to win the Super Bowl in those years. So it's really not like
Mhm.
nearly as big of a deal as people are making it out to be, or
Look-
beginning to attempt to make it out to be at this point.
There's a rule in football, all right? If your team has won a Super Bowl in the last 5 seasons, you're not allowed to complain about anything.
Yeah,
I know.
That's just standard
I haven't
rule.
been allowed to complain about anything in football since 2000, man. I am not
Oh, woe is me, Bear.
luxury.
Must be nice.
That's why I see these sports pundits all over the place. Like, is the Brady dynasty over? Well, hold on, let me check my calendar. Yeah, we're in year 17 of is the Patriots dynasty over? So I'm gonna go ahead and say until they're out of the playoffs, I'm not counting them out.
Until Tom Brady
Yeah.
dies, I
Right.
don't think the
Yeah.
Patriots are running. Like,
Come
And we're in
back, 50 years
September
old.
still.
Even
So-
after he retires, he
September.
might just make a comeback. Why not?
So, Bear, what my question to you is: how do you feel about Josh Gordon going to the Patriots? And it was my prediction last
Yeah.
week on this very show that I think that Gordon will actually be not forced, but want to do a turnaround now that he's on an elite team, and I think he actually will make a little bit of an impact when it comes to the passing game for Brady. What's your take on that?
Yeah, I think so too. Like, it's weird because a lot of the thing with Josh Gordon is we're speculating on a person's personality and whether or not he's going to be able to overcome like mental health issues almost. So like, it's really like, I don't know, man. To him, the strength he needs to deal with whatever bullshit he's got. But as far as him as a player goes, he's certainly just another case, like, like another Aqib Talib or another Randy. Well, like Randy Moss, ideally, is the comparison we want to make here. Yeah. But like people that. Well, Moss isn't even necessarily the best example of this.
I brought up LeGarrette Blount.
Yeah, Blount's another good example, too. Of people that have had issues in the past and have come to the Patriots and been able to succeed despite those issues. So
turn them into Super Bowl winners.
Yeah, and like he's insanely good, man. I think we forget how good Josh Gordon is just because he hasn't really played that much over the past few years. But he is actually like that Randy Moss caliber of talent. And with Brady, I mean, I'd be extremely surprised if he didn't at least put up some numbers this year, if not for, well, like, apart from the obvious, unless he gets busted with an ounce of that pure OG Kush again at some point, which, course. He lives in Massachusetts now. It's legal there, so it's a little bit more dangerous. But yeah, I don't know. It's going to be interesting. I've got my eye on him for sure, but I think we're going to be fine without him, to be honest. Without Josh Gordon, I was still not at all concerned about this Patriots team. I think we're going to be just fine.
Yeah.
Well, I think they're going to get Edelman back too,
right.
and then
next week. Yeah.
Somebody else is out too.
Yeah.
I don't know. Somebody else important's out.
I mean, Burkhead got injured Sunday, but I don't think he's really all that critical. Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
in the private text, by the way, in the chat room there in my Discord, I sent you a picture of Josh Gordon running a route, and just look at him. I mean, just look at the man. He looks like a comic book superhero. Like, look at
he does.
He's got muscles where they're not supposed to be. Like,
he's like the Dwight Howard of the NFL, man.
It's just insane. It's just crazy. So I mean, guy's got physical gifts.
Yeah.
He's pretty jacked.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I mean, if he comes back, the Patriots will definitely be amazing. And the thing is, like, everybody overrates regular season records. Like, as long as you get into the playoffs, that's all that matters. I remember the Packers, when they won the Super Bowl, they went like 9-7.
Yeah.
And then they just got on fire at the end. And the next year, we went 15-1, and the Giants were like 8-8, and they beat us and went on to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I remember
so it's like,
9-7. I think it was the Giants. They beat a really good team in the Super Bowl. I don't remember their record though. It might have been. I want to say 18-1. No, I don't know. It's hard.
This is so fun for you, isn't it? You're adorable.
One thing I will say, if you had told us, if I gave you these two numbers, you would not have believed what the correct answer is. So we have two quarterbacks in the same game. One went 14 for 26 or 133 and a touchdown. The other went from 27 for 36 with 262 and 2 TDs. Which one of those two is Tom Brady?
Yeah, no, I mean, like,
everyone would have gotten that wrong. I think
it's an obvious answer there, right? But like the thing about this particular game too, I mean, there's two obvious points that we're not really addressing at all. First of all, it's the Matt Patricia argument, the fact that the former the coordinator for the Patriots, Matt Patricia, is now leading the Lions. He knows everything about the Patriots. He's been leading their defense for the past 6 or 7 years or something like that. So he's been the man as far as that's concerned. He brought that knowledge to the Lions, of course. And secondly, he brought the knowledge of how to beat the Patriots to the Lions and employed it by way of keeping Tom Brady on the sidelines. Look at the time of possession in this game. I don't even actually have the stat up, so if anybody has it handy, I'd like to know. But like, I'm pretty sure they doubled the Patriots' time of possession during this game, and that's part of the big reason why that discrepancy is so wide between Stafford and Brady. Like, the attempts alone, Brady had 10 less over the course of the game because they didn't have the ball nearly as much.
And that's crazy to think, because they were down all game. That he only managed to even throw 26 balls.
Yeah, it's not like he wasn't trying to throw. They just didn't have the time.
Yeah.
So Barry isn't that far off. The time of possession for the Patriots was 20 minutes 45 seconds. The Lions was 39-15.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So nearly doubled them.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
2/3 of the game.
Well, and I'll say too, like, this was not just an everyday Lions win. this is the first time Matt Stafford has had a 100-yard rusher in his game.
Right. The
Since-
Lions get to
Yeah.
celebrate the end of their horrifying mediocrity. Congratulations.
no, but what I'm saying is like, that's part of
Hooray.
the reason that time is so different. Like they actually had a run game. Okay, to put it into perspective, I saw this stat the other day. Matt Stafford has played like 10 years now, right? Like he's got like 120 something
How
games.
fucking old is that dude? He's
like-
been a
he's
state
30.
age
He has played
since
a
got into
long
the
time.
Damn league.
Is
I
it
don't know.
Matt?
Guy's 30. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So okay, 120 plus games, right? Guess how many times he's had a 100-yard rusher?
0.
4.
Actually, a little higher.
Oh, 10?
It's 9.
9.
Nine.
Okay. Yeah, that's
Nine.
still crazy low though.
10 years. 10 years.
I know that because every time the Packers play the Lions every year, they never run well.
And they put
So
a
it's just-
stat up at the bottom of the screen, right? Like it's been 140,000 days since
Yeah,
the Lions
right.
last had 100.
Dude, they had that with the Packers actually back in, I think when Aaron Rodgers, right before they won the Super Bowl.
Mhm.
It was like, we had that same kind of statistic where it was like, Packers haven't gotten a 100-yard rusher in 10 years.
Yeah.
And it's like, all right.
You say so.
Yeah. Speaking of which, the Packers. Let me tell you all about it.
Please do.
Yeah.
So, you're not allowed to hit the quarterback anymore. That's a flag.
It's pretty absurd at this point, man. I can't believe it.
It's-
Like,
It's crazy.
Insane. Like, I was watching that play live, and I was like, oh, yeah, we got the sack. And then I saw the flag, and I, like, lost my mind.
Yeah.
I was like, are you kidding me?
how is
Like,
he
it was-
supposed to tackle him? And
I don't know.
I think
how
we're all
he's supposed
talking
to
about
do
this.
it.
It's the Clay Thompson, or that's his name, right? Clay
Matthews.
Clay
Yeah, Clay
Matthews.
Matthews. Sorry, yeah. I'm thinking Golden State Warriors
Mhm.
for some reason. Clay Matthews
Yeah.
tackles the Redskins quarterback, who is Alex Smith. And
Right.
it's a textbook tackle. It looked perfect.
Yeah.
Like that looks like a
Mhm.
video you should show kids of how to tackle someone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's not even just textbook. Like he even tries to roll off.
Yeah.
Alex Smith. Like
Yeah.
he. So a couple things happened that weekend, right? Like, well, actually, it wasn't that week. I
Mhm.
think it was a couple weeks ago, or something. Where a guy goes to hit the QB, right? And he knows he doesn't want to get on his body, like get his body weight on him, right? Because he's going to be a 15-yard penalty. So he goes in for the sack, and then you see him realize as he's grabbing the QB, and he twists his leg, to try to, get out of the way. Blows out his
saw
knee. He's
that.
out for the season.
Mhm.
It's just like, it's getting. Although, I do want to mention, did you guys see Mike McCarthy running after the ref? Like,
Oh,
looks like he
yeah.
wants to
That
fight
was
him,
great.
and the ref
He
is
was
just
so
shuffling
mad.
backwards awkwardly.
But McCarthy was doing what everyone was feeling, though. I mean,
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Oh, yeah, here it is.
yeah. I said the
Yeah.
link.
It is.
Yeah, it's so good. But it's like, look, I feel like I maybe have a controversial opinion that when they said that helmet to helmet rule in the offseason, everybody was freaking out. The sky's falling, the world's ending. I thought that was a good idea. I honestly do. I think the incidental contact head to head, they should stop that, and players should be form tackling, right? Because that's what you're supposed. That's what you're taught in Pee-wees, even. You
Mhm.
gotta wrap them up around the body and take them down. Because I've seen so many safeties go for a big hit on some guy, and then he bounces off and runs for the touchdown. You should be form tackling anyway, right?
Now,
Yeah.
With this,
now,
yeah.
no, go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say, with this, what do you do? How do you sack a QB?
can't.
That's what I was wondering.
Like,
You just
yeah.
can't.
I mean, here, I'll send another one. This
That-
is Gerald McCoy taking down Big Ben Roethlisberger. He doesn't even land on him. He puts two hands in Ben's chest. He falls over. Flag, roughing the passer.
Oh, I know. I
know.
Trust me.
Well, yeah, this Invicta one, I already know what you're linking. It's where
He tried to
Uh,
help him up afterwards.
yeah.
the one Invicta linked is like Aaron Rodgers gets sacked, and he literally gets thrown
yeah.
into the ground,
Yeah.
and there's no flag.
Head first.
And I was like, you gotta be kidding me.
He gets European suplexed into the ground.
Head
Keeping-
first.
Yeah.
Keeping in mind, this
Yeah.
is the quarterback that started this whole thing off, by the
Mhm.
way. And how
Yeah.
are they not calling that? But they called Clay Matthews for what, again, has already been stated is literally a picture-perfect tackle. You
Yeah.
cannot make
Yeah.
a cleaner tackle. This is just what they teach you. And the fact that gets flagged, but this one doesn't just shows that they have no idea what they're talking about.
Yeah.
They're like even on the slow-mo with the Clay Matthews hit, the one in the Washington game, because I did a side by side with the one in Minnesota too, but the one in the Washington game from this past week, they did a slow mo just to see if there was helmet to helmet contact, and it was like a half a foot away, at least in between the helmets when Matthews made that tackle. I mean, it could not have been more perfect.
Oh, he led with his shoulder cleanly.
Yeah.
Like it's
It's
silly.
a
Like, I
perfect.
think
It's form
clearly-
tackle. That is a
It's-
form tackle.
I
As
don't
someone-
know. I don't know what you're supposed to do as a D lineman anymore.
And
I don't.
the worst part about it is we should probably be 2-1 right now because of it. But now we're 1-1. And even in the Vikings game, there's another instance where Mike Daniels had Kirk Cousins, like wrapped him up, and he just didn't bring him down because he was afraid that he's going to get a penalty.
Hold on, I have that one
It's
saved
like
too.
it's so stupid.
What if that's what it becomes? Is they don't take him down anymore? Like once they get to the quarterback, they just wrap him up.
No,
and, like,
Bear,
all
Yeah.
look at this video. I swear to God, look at. This is what the NFL is now.
Yeah, because I remember seeing it and I was like, wait, he didn't get the sack? And then I watched it again and I was like, oh my God, he just let him go.
He goes.
Like, he just let him
He
go.
goes in. He hugs him,
Oh
and then
my
he,
God.
he lets him go. I don't remember who it is. Daniels, yeah.
Yeah.
After the game, they asked him about it, right? Obviously, and he said, "Look,
Mhm.
the O lineman's behind me. I go to sack the quarterback. The O lineman's going to fall on top of me, which means I fall on top of the QB. They get a 15-yard penalty. I was just playing smart football. That's crazy that
That
he has to think
sucks.
like
Yeah.
that. Like that's
Yeah.
insane. That's insane. Like
And he is playing
Well-
smart football. You got to give
He
him
is.
props because he did the right
Yeah.
thing there.
he did the right thing, and that's crazy.
told- Well, I told Krendor yesterday after the Buccaneers game, like you could tell that on the time that the Bucks needed to stop Roethlisberger, they had him like hook, line, and sinker. It was going to be a sack, but they can't even make a sack because they're worried. You can see the players pull off. They are afraid of making a penalty, so you're just not allowed to. You're just like, that's it's killing
Why even
everyone
play
mentally
defense?
on defense. Like I played D line, I played linebacker. I know that if I'm not allowed to just plow over this quarterback, like that's gonna discourage me because you don't want to make a penalty,
If
especially
you even
in
have
the
to
fourth
hesitate
quarter.
for half a second to consider whether or not you should
Yeah.
do
Yeah,
it,
you
you're
get
already at a
you get
disadvantage.
pancaked.
This
You
is
get
a
that's
league
it.
where plays are on average like 2 seconds long.
Yeah, quarterbacks take 2.5
Yeah.
to 3 seconds at max to release the ball
Yeah.
if they're at the top level.
Mhm.
I'm not one to be like, oh, this happened. I can't stand watching this anymore. Like the Kaepernick thing, the national anthem thing, like all that stuff. I'm gonna be completely honest. It didn't affect my likability of the NFL because I just like football.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
like politics. I don't care. I just like watching football. I like playing football.
Mhm.
But this is the first time in my life that I can actually say that this is affecting my
Me
want
too.
to see football because I mean, it's funny to laugh at the Packers or it's at the Lions or it's funny to laugh at like when it's not your team as well, but it's still but even then though, like I don't like the Packers, but I was telling Krendor when it happened, I was like this is stupid. Like
Yeah.
it's happening to teams that when I'm defending like a team that I really don't really like, it's like this is crazy. Even Redskins fans were chiming in saying like that's not right. Like that's
Alex Smith in the post game news conference said,
Yeah.
"Yeah, that shouldn't have been flagged. That's like he's the
Yeah.
guy that got hit."
yeah.
Even a week ago in the Vikings game, even Vikings fans were like, yeah, it probably shouldn't have been a flag. It's like, oh yeah, we would have picked it off and won the
Anyone-
game then. That's
Anyone
cool.
who's ever played or watched football knows like it's a stupid change. And I saw a stat that said something like there's been a record amount of penalties in the first 3 weeks
Oh,
like
that's right.
combined for
Mhm.
that has like eclipsed entire seasons worth of penalties for some teams. Like it's crazy.
It's
Yeah.
changing game
It
outcomes
seems like it's
now.
nonstop flags.
Yeah.
I have a theory, maybe a little out of left field, but
Okay.
do you think the NFL is beginning to consider the real possibility that children are not being allowed to play the sport anymore because it's too violent and they're trying to curb those
100%.
expectations?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also think they're trying to do a little like loop road. They're like, nah, concussions, that's not a problem. We know. And then they're like, by the way, you're not allowed to touch a player.
Don't
It's
touch their
like,
head, but concussions are fine if they get one.
It's like
Oh,
Yeah.
dude.
It's
Hold
okay.
on,
Like the
I got-
NFL knows that like it's not retroactive, right? You can't just take a concussion away because all of a sudden you change how defensive players work in 2018. Like, it's not gonna-
This is all the
that's
brain
gonna-
damage it causes.
Yeah, that's not going to fix the brain damage and everything.
Yeah. Speaking of touching the head, this is exactly what we're going to see in the NFL. The thing I just linked is Big Ben sitting in the pocket last week, and I don't know who it is. Maybe it's McCoy. Taps him on the helmet, and he flops like he's winning an Oscar. Like it's just
that.
It's
turned into soccer.
That's what we're gonna do. That's what we're gonna do in the NFL.
That's
now.
awful. Yeah.
And you know what? I don't blame Ben because that's a 15-yard penalty. Look, people give soccer shit for them flopping. You know why they do it? Because it gives their team a competitive advantage. Of course they're going to do it. Why wouldn't they do it?
Yeah.
So, I mean, of course this is going to happen in the NFL now too. I mean, it's
like if you're being paid millions of dollars a year and you have the chance of like adding, like over the course of a drive on a football field, 15 yards to acquire that for free. That's massive. Of course you're going to take
it's enormous. Yeah.
See, now
It's changing games.
Speaking of the conspiracy theories, if we're just bringing it up, I'm not a theorist.
Yeah.
I did see someone make a comment on that thread for the officiating stuff for the roughing the passer that sort of made sense, and I wanted to pass it to y'all's take on it. What the person on Twitter said was it makes sense because that they're trying to protect quarterbacks like this, because when it comes down to it, who usually represents the NFL in commercials?
Of course.
Usually the quarterback.
Yeah.
You know, they were touting Baker Mayfield like, the NFL made sure that he was paraded on Thursday, and and everyone's, it's a celebration of quarterbacks, and this is what truly a Cinderella story is for the Browns and the quarterbacks, blah blah blah. But is that something that is worth turning like 90% of football players, which is just a figure I'm just making up, but I don't know, and everyone I've talked to,
no one likes this.
is a staunch opposer
Yeah.
of this change. Everyone.
Well, like even they're doing it obviously to protect their assets.
Yeah.
Of like we need our money making quarterbacks, but at the same time you're losing fans because we're like this is dumb. But I don't think they expected such big backlash against. But I think part of it's they don't even know like the rules they made.
Yeah.
Like they're like, is that a hit? And they're like, well, I think that's a
Like
pedal,
got
but
hurt.
maybe.
No, dude,
Yeah.
Civic, do you think you're having a tinfoil hat? Let me put one on. I'm gonna one up you. I'm gonna put some aluminum foil all over my body right now. Okay,
That's
So-
great.
so look, let's be honest about the NFL. You think the NFL really? This is a multi-billion-dollar corporation run not by Roger Goodell. It's run by the 32 NFL owners who have all the money, and Roger Goodell takes the shots, and that's why they're still there. Is because he's willing to take the shots, right? So let's be honest with ourselves. You think they give a shit about player safety? They don't care. They had this league for fucking 50 years. And players were, I mean, a dude died on the field once. They don't care. They don't give a shit. The reason that they don't want this CTE shit to happen is because it's a liability. They already got sued to high hell when it first came out, right? Like a bunch of players sued the shit out of the NFL. They're gonna get more lawsuits in the coming years, I'm sure. And it's a liability thing. And on top of that, it's exactly what you said. People ask why are athletes paid all the money they're paid. You know why? Because they're filling those seats. Green Bay is a market that, there's like 300,000 people in that town. Yet it's one of the biggest franchises in the NFL. Guess what happens when Aaron Rodgers goes down? Suddenly that small market becomes very small. So that's exactly why they're trying to protect the quarterbacks. They're the big money makers. They're the guys filling seats. Everybody wants to watch the young rookie Sam Darnold come in. They want to watch Josh Allen leap over.
Everybody wants to watch Darnold.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like people want to watch.
That was
people
the
wanna watch
first
the
Jets
TVs.
game I think I've watched in like 20 years.
Oh God, why'd you choose that one? Watch go back, watch week 1. That was good.
I'm gonna watch Vinny Testaverde, or you want me to go further back and watch Mr. Chad Pennington for you there, right?
It's been a long time, okay? I can be hopeful.
Hey, I'm a Bucks fan. I know what you're talking about, all right?
Yeah.
You won a Super Bowl in the 2000s. You don't have to get to
That's
complain
true.
that much.
That's true.
It's
You got
17
one.
years ago, Bear.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. 17 years ago. Ours was 1969.
What? Before that,
Else
the Buccaneers
existed.
didn't win one at all. We were 0. 1969, the Bucks had won. Like they had already
Until
lost
then.
like about 3,000 games.
These losers with their one Super Bowl.
Oh, that's great.
My
That's
mom
great.
was like 5 years old when they won their Super Bowl. That's how old that long ago this one was.
I think that we just like bottom line on this one. Football is a violent sport. It was made for violent people, It's people love blood sport. Like it's got to be gladiatorial.
Yeah.
People are going to get hurt. I never once thought when I was playing football, I didn't play at the highest level. I didn't play at the collegiate level, but I never once thought like, oh, this is probably really good for my health. I'm getting great exercise. If I get hit really hard, like, man, I'm going to be in such great shape. No, you go in there knowing that you're going to get hit. That's what you have a helmet for. If you still get hurt, that means you got hit by someone who either hit you really hard or your helmet wasn't good enough.
Yeah.
You're going to get hurt.
I'll take it one further
Yeah.
too. I mean, like, look, especially as at the QB position, it's unlike a lot of other places, right? Most of the time, like 80% of the time, when a QB gets hit, he is standing completely still, and a guy about twice his size is going full speed into him. They're gonna get hurt.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen. Like that doesn't happen on most other football players. It's gonna happen. But
I mean, look at the WWE.
Yeah.
It's all fake, and people still get hurt.
Mhm.
They're not even hitting each other most
Yeah.
of the time. They get. That's what I mean. And ironically, an ironic twist, when the XFL comes out, XFL 2 or whatever it's going to be, that's going to be more watchable than the NFL. NFL is going to be flag football.
I'll tell you what.
Little flags on the quarterbacks.
If I didn't know that I was going to be on this show today, I probably would have. I was just inches from that X button on that Packers game when Clay Matthews got that flag. I swear to God, like I was just like, what's the point of watching this game anymore? That happens all the time now. Like I'm getting to that point.
I almost turned it off.
Yeah.
I turned off the Bucks game, but that was because they were losing.
Well,
Well,
They were losing by the time
let's-
I tuned.
barring that play, the Packers, they
the Packers,
they didn't help
they do.
themselves. they dropped a lot of passes, like really easy to catch passes. Aaron Rodgers threw like some good passes, but he also was kind of off. So I think the injury's still definitely taking its toll on him. But we had Aaron Jones, who was really good. He came back from his weed suspension,
Yep.
and he was running great. And we had plays like a 4th and 2, and I was like, dude, Aaron Jones is averaging 7 yards a carry. How about we give him the ball? And they're like, nah, how about we throw a slant to Cobb, who's like 3 for 10 on targets today? Like, oh, he dropped it. What do you know?
Whoops.
It's like classic Mike McCarthy play calling. I love it. And then our defense kind of just, I don't know what happened to the defense. Well, I mean, we can't hit the guy, and our secondary is like, all right, here we are. And then, you just get destroyed after a while. So it was just a mediocre game in general, and I didn't have fun.
yeah.
I haven't realized the transformation the Washington Redskins have undergone. I'm still in like the Robert Griffin III days of that franchise, but they've got Alex
yeah.
Smith, Adrian Peterson now. They got a whole like revamp. Oh my God, Vernon Davis is on this team. What the hell?
Oh, yeah.
Vernon Davis.
Yeah.
It's like the ancient team of the early
Yeah,
2000s.
no
You're
kidding,
thinking of the
right?
Raiders, I think. That's
They're the opposite of the Raiders.
Hey,
They're the good Raiders.
I'm glad that I picked up AP, and I'm glad that even gladder I started him this week on fantasy.
Oh, I destroyed
Yeah,
fantasy this week.
Well, let's go to the Buccaneers to cap off all our teams.
Yes.
So Sinvicta.
Yes.
I was actually watching that game too. The Buccaneers looked terrible, and then they almost came back, and then they didn't come
Well, you
back.
see here, Coach Crendor, what happens with Tampa Bay Buccaneers? They like to go ahead and get your spirits up. They showed a little bit of Fitz magic, and then it comes crashing down. But hats off goes to Ryan Fitzpatrick for being the first quarterback in history to throw for 400 yards in 3 consecutive games. I mean, hat goes off to him. Great hustle. Defense didn't really show a whole lot of heart, especially the fact that you can't tackle a quarterback anymore in this season. But you really got to give Fitzpatrick all the credit. He's doing great. Was really disappointed that we couldn't pull out a win, but we just got to get suited up on a short week and get ready for the Chicago Bears. And thanks everyone for your news
The
conference.
Chicago Khalil Max. Sorry, I don't know if you realize
Yep.
they went under a brand.
There
change
are-
here.
I was watching that game last night at the bar. So I was like, I'll just watch it there. And I was next to this couple that was on a date, and the girl wasn't really into football, but the guy was. And she's like, so what's the deal with the Bears? He's like, oh, we got Khalil Mack, and he's like the best player ever. And he's like so good. And I was like, oh my God. He's not wrong, though. I wish the Packers got Khalil
my
Mack,
God.
because maybe. But then again, we couldn't, hit the quarterback, so it wouldn't even matter.
Apparently he's allowed to do it. So
He's
Yeah,
allowed to
figure
hit
it
the
out the way.
quarterback.
He's the only marketable
I
thing
don't-
in the Chicago area.
Well,
Yeah.
here's the thing. I think he's figured out. He just takes the ball away. He just
Oh,
strips
there
it
you
from the
go.
He's
quarterback.
strip sacking every play, man.
That's what you got to do. You just got to strip it.
Mhm.
That's the new sack. Just go for the strip sack.
Sin, I think I want to call this game the Fitzy 50. We got Ryan Fitzpatrick throwing 30 for 50 for 411 with 3 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. That's a lot of work for one man in a day.
It is. Thank you, Bear. Fitzpatrick again, great heart. Got to give it to the Lord Jesus up there for making him so good. But I gotta say that the fact that you can't tackle the quarterback. I mean, look. All right.
We've been down this.
We've been down this road.
Jokes aside, I am supremely disappointed that the Bucks were not able to beat Pittsburgh because I don't particularly think that Pittsburgh's that great.
Oh
And
yeah.
I mean, they're
yeah.
better. They're better than the Saints, I would say. But I don't think that the Bucks should have lost to them, especially at home. But the Bucks have never performed very well on Monday Night Football, regardless. The defense needs to shapen up though, because Tampa's got a decent pass rush. They're not bad. The O line for the Steelers is actually one of their better strengths, I think.
Yeah.
But I mean, we couldn't stop Big Ben. 353 for 3 is not.
Hey man, at the end of the day, it's Ben Roethlisberger, 2 Super Bowl wins and lots of yardage in his career, and Antonio Brown, arguably the best wide receiver in football. And John
Juju.
Connor is Juju is really. I mean, they got a great offense.
I forgot they got Juju. Yeah, he's real good.
Yeah, Juju and John Connor is blowing up too. So
Mhm.
you know. Oh,
Ben
it's not
Roethlisberger
Jake
on
Connor.
roughing the passer flags, quote, "There's a lot of them."
Thanks, Ben. Back to you guys
I
at the
think it's
desk.
the Steelers give up 100 points, but they score 100 points as well. So it's just kind of a flip of the coin of who's gonna get that extra point.
Fitzpatrick's 3 INTs definitely had a lot to do with it, though.
Well,
Yeah,
I've never
exactly.
even
Larry
watched.
Look,
I haven't even watched Fitzpatrick play really. The last time I saw him was the Jets Bills Christmas in a Thursday night game where they wore those weird green red.
I bet that was a humdinger.
oh yeah.
Well, I didn't. Whenever he throws the ball, it just looks like it's floating. It's so weird. I'm used to the Aaron Rodgers rocket ball,
yeah.
right in it, but it's so weird to watch him throw
we can't
it.
always have A-Raj, coach. All right. Sometimes we're stuck in this position where we have to put our entire hopes and dreams on Ryan Fitzpatrick. It's either Fitzpatrick or Jameis Winston.
Yeah.
Jameis, let me call
Oh,
you an
yeah.
Uber Winston.
Yeah,
great
that's.
Actually,
fair
that's
point.
a good question. I should ask you, Sinvicta. What do you think? You think they're going to go with Jameis next week?
No, because Fitzpatrick is still performed well. The Buccaneers, the Bucks know that Fitz is the guy that everyone wants right now.
Yeah.
And even though I said that Fitz magic is over, which I said that, to my credit, I said that after his 3rd INT in all of 1.5 quarters, by the way. I still think that Fitzpatrick gives us the best chance to win. I think that there was bad calls for both sides on the game. It wasn't just the non-sack on Roethlisberger that lost the game. Obviously, it never comes down to one play usually,
Yeah.
but I think that the Bucks still are the better team, even though they lost. I think that they're still better than the Steelers, and they're definitely better than the Bears. If we lose to the Bears now, talk to me next week, and I'll let you know how I'm feeling.
Let me tell you about the Bears being in their division and their city. Their defense is very good, top 5 defense. It's really, really good. But their offense is not. So that's
It's
the main. The all they do on offense is they just try to run the ball and run the clock and pray that they can get a field goal and then let their defense take over.
Well,
That's
they
how
don't
you
have
play it.
Cutler. They don't have Jay Pornstash Cutler anymore to market. So they gotta look to Khalil Mack.
I'll be honest. I mean, I know it's only his 2nd year, but in year 2, Mitch Trubisky's not looking too much different from Jake Thompson.
His Google picture, he looks like a 15year-old kid. And he's
I still love it. He tweeted 8 years ago. He was like, "Hell yeah, go Packers!" So every time, everybody just tweets that on the Packers forums and Reddit and stuff.
He's from Ohio too, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so let's go recap all the other games that we're not fans of.
Yep.
So Saints beat the Falcons 43-37 in overtime.
Yeah. So, by the way, Matt Ryan, Matty Ice,
Yep.
Mhm.
he
5
has
touchdowns.
Five
he-
touchdowns.
He has the highest passer rating in a loss in NFL history.
Oh my god.
Straight up.
That surprised me.
That's how great. And Drew Brees with 2 rushing touchdowns, as we all expected.
Yeah, of course.
Big, he's big runner, that one.
Yeah.
And he passes. I know this sounds silly, but I feel like Drew Brees is sort of underrated because when people say like,
All
"Hey,
right.
there's a," well, I know.
In what universe is
Here,
All right.
here. This is what
As a
this is what I'm
disclaimer,
He has the most
everyone saw-
completions ever.
I know.
So everyone knows Rob. By the way, Rob's quarterback in fantasy is
Look.
taking a wild guess. I'm just saying.
I know. I'm aware, and that's why I said it that way. But look, whenever people are like, the elite quarterbacks in the NFL, they say Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers. So rarely do people mention Drew Brees in that conversation. I just wanted to bring this up to bring up how crazy his stats are, right? Like, so
Yeah.
I think there are 5 guys in NFL history who've thrown for over 5,000 yards. Only one of them has had more than one 5,000-yard season, and that's Drew Brees with 5.
That's actually kind of crazy.
That's
That
insane.
is-
I've
And
always heard Breeze in the elite quarterback conversation personally.
I always,
yeah,
I
but
always
he's
say
not.
that.
Yeah.
I give Rob credit for he's not up there with Rodgers and Brady though. Like
He
don't
doesn't
hear
get the same
about
kind
that
of talk.
conversation.
Yeah. And he's never won an MVP, even though he's had 5,000-yard seasons.
But I don't think he's never deserved an MVP though. I don't think
I don't
think he can
know.
make that argument.
I think if you look at some of those years, he definitely deserved an MVP. It's just he always got overshadowed by
Exactly.
players
Well, that's the
who
thing. It's
were-
like the players who stand out in those years. That's who deserves the MVP.
well,
Does
but
he ever
those players
get
are not
injured?
teams with more wins. No, not
I don't
really.
think he has been. No.
Because I always whenever I see
mean,
the Saints, he's always
obviously.
playing. So I'm like, who's their backup? Like I don't even know.
Who
Yeah,
knows?
Teddy
I
Bridgewater
haven't
now,
seen a
yeah.
different Saints quarterback in a long
The-
time.
So another thing, he just passed the completion number, like the most completions in NFL history, right?
Mhm.
At beating Brett Favre. But it's not like so people often like to discredit him and say like, oh well, he's throwing a lot of the Saints teams have been pretty bad over the years. Like he's just been putting pad and stats in garbage time. But here's the thing, he has the most completions ever, and he's the most accurate quarterback ever in the history of the National Football League. He has the
Really?
highest career, completion percentage ever.
Look,
So,
we're all
I mean-
happy you got a bunch of points on Sunday, Rob.
I'm just saying, I really like Drew Brees. And
Look,
feel like
I
he gets
picked up
shafted
Matt Ryan off the waivers. I'm happy about it, but I'm not.
You should be, dude. I mean,
I'm not
I
gonna be-
want to say Matt Ryan honestly is probably a little underrated too. I think Matt
is.
Ryan is way more
Yeah.
underrated than Drew Brees is. That's for damn
I
sure.
agree. I agree with you.
I hear the Breeze in the elite speak only because I guess I hear it more than you guys do because I'm C South with
Oh,
with
yeah.
Tampa.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, Breeze has always been good. Ryan has always been good stats wise, but he has problems in the playoffs since being
Yeah,
Super
that's
Bowl
his
Kind of
so,
thing.
fixed that these days.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, they don't have to worry about getting sacked anymore. That's for sure.
Yeah, he's got that going for him.
next up we got Eagles Colts. Eagles 20, Colts 16.
They almost lost again.
Yeah. The Eagles don't feel like the same Eagles as last year. I
Bucks
don't know.
beat him.
Which is weird
Yeah.
because their team is mostly the same, actually. Like they
Yeah.
haven't. it
You think
hasn't
they're
been a
better with
huge turnout.
Foles?
No.
No.
I mean,
With Nick Foles.
Foles,
I mean,
he pulled off some big plays in the Super Bowl. I think he's a
In-
lot of the reason they won.
In the playoffs, he's a fucking golden god, but in the regular season, he just doesn't seem like he's got it.
you know who
Yeah.
who Nick Foles reminds me of? Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Oh,
except
so
the
on or
playoffs
off.
instead of the regular season.
Playoffs.
Playoff.
Playoffs?
Playoffs?
have you guys
Yeah.
done that bit yet?
No, not yet.
No, not
All
yet.
right, first one. All
Fucking
right.
Bears.
There you go.
Talking
Yeah.
about
Great.
playoff.
They are who we thought they were.
Speaking
Danny.
of they are who they thought we were, 16-14 Bears over Cardinals. Cardinals now 0-3 on their way to a
Mhm.
very bad
A
record.
very bad year.
Yeah.
They got Josh Rosen starting now though, so I mean,
In possibly the worst situation that you
Yeah.
can put a rookie. I think that coach Steve Wilkes should just be fired, honestly,
Yeah.
after that game. So Sam Bradford's not playing that great, but the
mhm.
game is within reach, right? You've
Yeah.
got your starter. He's not injured. It's the fourth quarter, 2 minutes left with 3 timeouts, and you say, hey, rookie, yeah, go win the game. What the fuck? Who does that?
Now you're thinking like the Jets, Rob.
Oh my god, that's ineptitude.
Sam
man.
Bradford too. Like,
Yeah.
bench him this
Yeah.
early. He's got a good track record.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
not bad. Like,
Although his stats have been pretty bad this year.
yeah,
He's
but
got
like,
the Cardinals to work with.
Yeah,
you
you're not wrong.
still gotta trust him to finish the game.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm
The-
surprised
really do.
Fitzy's still in there, man. Fitzgerald, I
I
can't
am
believe
too.
he's not done it.
Oh, he's the best, man. I love Larry Fitzgerald.
He's immortal.
He really
That's
is.
that's just the bottom line. He's immortal.
I hope he keeps playing. I hope he goes into his Brady years, man. We see 7 more years of Larry
Dude.
Fitzgerald.
yeah,
Red.
why
Hey,
too?
Jerry Rice played it like what, 41, right?
Did he?
41.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah,
So,
41 for the Raiders.
could be. We could see it.
Speaking of the Raiders, they're 0-3 now.
Oh man.
And
To
the
the
Dolphins
Dolphins.
lost to the
Yep.
Dolphins. Listen, the first place undefeated Dolphins.
3-0.
3-0.
Mr.
know.
Tannehill.
Yeah.
I saw a stat that was it's the first time since like 2002 or 2001 that the Patriots have been 2 games down in the division.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So yeah, so look, last week I said the Dolphins aren't their record. Maybe I'm wrong. You know, hey,
Well,
look,
they did
you
play
don't
the
just luck
Raiders,
into
so I
3
mean-
wins. Yeah,
Well-
but still.
They play us in New England next week. That's going to answer a lot of people's questions.
I still
Mm.
don't trust the Dolphins. I mean, think about it. They played the Titans in like a 10-hour game
Yeah.
in Miami. Tennessee's like on the road. They're probably just tired. Like, get me out of here, week 1. Then,
Play
Played
with
the
Coach Jets.
Jets week
yeah,
two,
then they
and
play the
Sam
Jets.
Darnold.
Very easy. And then you play the Raiders, who is like the opposite Redskins. There's a bunch of old dudes that
Yeah.
like aren't. Although Jordy Nelson had like 140 yards and like a touchdown or
Yeah.
something.
He had 173.
Dude,
Oh,
you know,
God.
hear me out. We're talking about underrated quarterbacks. Ryan Tannehill, he's fucking lighting it up this year. Like,
Yeah.
listen to his stats: 687 yards, 73% completion percentage, 7 TDs, 2 interceptions. He's lighting it up.
I mean, he's always been pretty solid. He's just got injury stuff happen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's been medium forever. Ever since they drafted him, he's just been like, all right, that's the Dolphins quarterback.
I didn't
Yeah.
even
Right.
think he was that great at A&M.
Yeah,
I mean, that's not my alma mater, but you know, that's where I worked and lived for many years, and
Does
I never
your
thought he was
proximity to
incredible.
that college give you like further insight into knowing if he was
Yes.
going to Texas A&M?
Well, you got to keep in mind it's a college town, all right. So like
Oh, sure, yeah.
everything in College Station is
You saw him
Aggies,
everywhere
Aggies,
you
Aggies.
went.
right.
Yeah.
right.
Basically, yeah. I did actually see Tannehill, but he I didn't think he was that great in college. So and I was surprised that he was doing well in the NFL. Even like he's always been, like Bear said, medium
Yeah.
for me.
Yeah.
Like I never consider him an elite, but he's also no like, you know, freaking
I mean,
Bad
he reminds me
Fitzgerald.
of just like a Joe Flacco or somebody.
Fitzpatrick. Yeah.
Here's the
I think
thing.
it's-
See, that's why I say that he's a little underrated, because I think that's totally fair to have that compare, because nobody talks about Ryan Tannehill. Who cares,
Yeah.
right? It's the Dolphins. But here's the thing: like, if you look at his career stats, like they're nowhere near as bad as Flacco's is.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, just 2 years ago, right? He came off back-to-back 4,000-yard seasons, 27 touchdowns one year, 24 the next year, with only 12 ints in both years. Like, you know, it's middle of the pack, sort of, right?
No,
It's
Drew
just not
Brees.
good enough.
Yeah, he's not gonna,
That's-
he's not blowing
The Dolphins have been the just not good enough team for the past.
They're
10 to
kind of
15
like the Lions of the AFC.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
I think that's fair, honestly.
Yeah.
I was
Uh,
gonna say actually he's like Matthew Stafford. Like they're
Yeah,
both
they
dirty.
really are just the Lions.
Yeah. Except Stafford is actually like a top 10 QB.
Right. Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
The Ravens beat the Broncos, and they're both 2-1, which is kind of weird. I think the Ravens are a little better than the Broncos, though.
Yeah. I don't know how the Broncos kept winning. Honestly,
Yeah,
Hey, man. Case Keenum.
Case
I like
Keenum. Yeah.
he's not even
yes.
playing well.
Yeah, I know. He's played real
Another
bad.
Texas quarterback that I didn't think would do great in the NFL, which is actually doing pretty well.
Yeah.
Keenum.
Case
Yeah.
Keenum, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
He was. I actually thought he was better comparing him to Tannehill when he was at U of H. I was thinking like, yeah, he's actually really, really good.
Mm.
He impressed me more than Tannehill did at A&M.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see. I mean, the Broncos, they do have a decent defense, I think. So, I mean, I don't know.
Von
Then-
Miller, dude. Von Miller
Yeah.
and Bradley Chubb, right?
Yeah. So,
So-
we'll see. We'll see how it rolls down as the games keep going. Panthers won the Battle of the Cats. Bengals 31-21 Panthers.
Right.
Dude, Christian McCaffrey had like 180 yards.
Mm-hmm.
Yikes.
Crazy.
On my
Yeah.
team.
Newton had 2 passing and 2 rushing touchdowns.
Oh my god.
Man,
He's a
McCaffrey
monster.
with that near 7-yard average is crazy.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
insane.
If you have like a healthy Cam Newton and McCaffrey, I think they can be really good going down the.
He's,
down the
you know,
stretch.
like watching that game. It's interesting because I didn't really watch any Panthers games last year,
Mhm.
but he's weird, right? Like, because he's a running back on the depth chart, but like they basically play him at wideout. Like they put him in the slot all the
Yeah.
time. He's a real receiver.
It's because he's got better than average blocking ability, which
Yeah.
is why they usually bounce him out to the right or left.
Yeah. Yeah,
He's very good.
I actually really wanted the Packers to take him that year, but we didn't get him. This made me sad.
Yeah. Good player.
yeah. The Giants beat the Texans in a great game. The 0-3 Texans now and the 1-2 Giants in the battle of who would win a game and not be undefeated anymore. So we know who it is now. 48-year-old Eli Manning, however old he is.
Yeah.
He's
The only man in the NFL with a larger helmet than Sam Darnold.
yeah.
You know, people compare the two because they're both pretty dopey looking. And hey, look, if Sam Darnold brings back 2 rings, I don't care. Give him.
The thing is,
he
like,
can be as dopey as he wants.
Why don't you beat the Browns first, Rob, before you start
Yeah.
talking about rings with Darnold?
Hey man, Eli, 132 rating in that
Yeah,
game.
but
He
it's
did
the
pretty well.
0-3 Texans, like. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't even
You're
know
not
if
wrong.
the Texans, like, do they still have J.J. Watt healthy, or is he out? Like, is he injured?
He's still
Yeah, he's playing
I'm
still.
pretty sure
No, he's playing. I mean,
But-
Deshaun Watson had a great game. 385 for 2.
Oh, wow.
How could,
Yep.
I mean,
I mean, yeah.
yeah, he had good stats. Just the Texas defense is just non-existent.
Oh, is it literally
Yeah.
just J.J. Watt and then the others?
Pretty much. Yeah.
and 11
And all the
mannequins.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
Yeah, they lost their performance-enhancing drugs whenever what's his name decided to retire early.
Oh yeah,
Oh my
Cushing,
god.
right? Yeah.
Cushing, yeah.
Yeah. Hold on a second,
All right.
because you guys are just asking about J.J. Watt. He had 3 fucking sacks in that
Oh
game.
my god,
Ooh.
and no
Yeah.
flags.
And none of them were
Yeah,
flagged.
That's crazy.
he probably had like 7,
Yeah.
and then the other 4 were called
Dude,
back.
at this point, if you're gonna get flagged, I feel like you just take a shot, like fucking knock him down.
Mm.
Like be like, oh whoops, just knocked him on his ass.
Yeah.
That's a
Coach
flag.
Kendall, are you saying that Ndamukong Suh was actually right all along?
Well, he didn't, take good cheap shots. He just stepped on you while you were trying to.
Good cheap shot.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
would just.
just like step
He
on
just
your
back,
ankle.
yeah,
and
he's like,
shit.
oh, Aaron Rodgers is back there. I didn't even see him. Let me just step down harder. Yeah, all right.
Stomp on his calf real quick.
Another thrilling game: Titans Jaguars in a weird battle of the AFC
God.
South.
Humdinger.
Feel real bad
Humdinger.
for anyone who was forced to
The
endure
field
this.
goal wars.
Ugh. Jesus.
The thing is, like,
And we-
It's just-
I still don't know if the Titans and the Jaguars are good or not. And even though they both like
They're both 2-1.
yeah, they both are 2-1. They both made the playoffs last year, but I still don't know if they're good or not. It's like
But the Titans beat the Texans, who are not good,
Like,
for their
the
second.
Titans, they have a good defense, but it's a weird like they always get like 9 points or like 14 points, and they don't ever look like they're
I've never been impressed
Yeah.
with them. Like
Yeah.
they grind out whatever wins they get, but then you put them up against an elite team and they probably won't
Yeah.
win. I mean, it'd be a miracle,
Mhm.
really.
and then
I'm
Well,
gonna-
yeah, go on.
I know I need someone to pull up the tape from last week on last week's show where Coach and Rob were both talking about how Bortles is going to really turn it around for the.
well, I never said that.
I never said that.
said that.
Yeah. We never said that.
Apparently no one ever said
I only said that Blake Bortles is not replacement level, which is, I know, just, I'm giving
Really
him
hot
the,
take
the
there.
greatest praise. Yeah, but he's not. He's not.
He's no Darnold, that's for sure.
Well, dude, in that game, the Titans Jags, like Marcus Mariota, he was supposed to be out.
Yeah.
Like he has an injured hand. Like he wasn't supposed to be playing, and then
And he
Blaine
played
Gabbert-
anyway.
Yeah, well, Blaine Gabbert got fucking destroyed on a play, and they were just like,
Threw
well,
for 12 for 18 for 100 yards.
yeah.
Just a slobber.
Well, the
knocker
Jaguars
of a
are
game.
like, again, they're another team where it's like they have a really good defense and they have a slightly better offense than Tennessee, I think. But they're still like sometimes you get bad Bortles who's like, "Hey, I was partying last night."
They remind me so much of the 2009 Jets, like where our offense, like it's just like, we're gonna put the offense on, and I really hope Mark Sanchez doesn't throw
Their
a
butt
pick, but if he
fumbling.
doesn't, then our defense can win the game, so we'll be
Yeah.
good.
He was grabbing a hot dog on the sideline that time, Coach.
Oh wow, he does. They actually are a lot like the Jets from 2009. I didn't even think of that.
Oh, it's crazy, yeah. I mean, they got Jalen Ramsey too. He's like the Darrell
Yeah.
Revis on their team and shit. It's almost like straight up.
They lost to
2009
the
Jets.
Patriots in the championship game.
Mhm.
It's crazy.
Yep.
Speaking of amazing teams, how about the Chiefs 3-0, taking down the 49ers.
So who's this guy?
You talk about Pat
Who's
Mahomes.
this?
huh?
Who's this Pat
Yeah,
Mahomes?
who is this guy?
fella?
This is the next Andy Reid like Frankenstein project as he like puts together his quarterback.
He's just this young strapping lad,
Yep.
working up behind Alex Smith in the system, and all of a sudden he's a god.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's crazy.
He's done.
Okay.
I like to theorize that Andy Reid took parts of Priest Holmes and mixed it with parts of Alex Smith to produce.
Dude,
Mhm.
did you
Well,
guys
like a little
see-
bit of Mike Vick in there too, right?
Yeah,
That's-
a little bit of
moves
it.
around.
Yeah, a
I'll
little
tell-
bit of Ron Mexico.
Yeah.
I'll tell you guys straight up. I think his comp is 100% Brett Favre. After did you guys see that play where he's supposed to
Yeah.
get sacked, scrambles around,
Yeah,
like,
that was a
draws
crazy
a
play.
draws a play in the dirt and tosses it to the end zone. I mean, he looked like Brett. That looked like
Yeah.
a Brett Favre.
He just flicked it. It wasn't even a hard throw. He just flicks it, and it's
Yeah.
like a 50-yard pass. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
The guy. I mean, he looks like
I
Brett Favre.
swear to
He
God,
really
he's
does.
like
He
he's
just is.
concocting some like weird. He's like, I'll take Donovan McNabb with Brett Favre and mix them together with like Alex Smith's actors. Oh yes, finally my creation is complete.
And
Now, Bear-
everything nice.
Bear, out of the three of us, which one do you think has Mahomes for their quarterback?
Probably you, right?
No, actually, it's Coach Crendor.
That's
I
Coach
actually
Crendor.
took
Oh,
yeah.
I took
Yeah,
Garoppolo first, and then I was like, you know what? Let's back him up with Mahomes. Well, it worked out.
That draft was a very interesting.
I was
stream
like,
when we
hey,
were
you know,
talking.
he might be pretty good. Chiefs got a good offense, and then I was like, first week, I'm like, you know what? Chiefs got a better matchup, and I was like, oh my god, this is this is amazing.
Mahomes. Now you're Mahomes.
Yeah, I already cut Garoppolo this week. I don't even have a backup quarterback right now. I'm full on board the Mahomes train,
Uh-huh.
and I don't need a backup till like week 12. So let's go.
And meanwhile, I've got 3 quarterbacks on my team.
Yeah.
I
Dude,
gotta get
like,
rid of them.
the crazy thing with Mahomes, I mean, obviously the crazy thing is he's got
Yeah.
13 touchdowns in 3 games. No one's ever done that. But it's not just 13 touchdowns in 3 games. It's 13 touchdowns and 0 picks.
Yeah.
He's unreal. Like
It's-
I can't believe it.
It's crazy.
It is.
It's
So
crazy.
that's how you know that he didn't take Reed didn't take too much McNabb. The fact that he has 0 on his
Yeah.
team.
He's being very efficient. He just looks incredible.
It's
Nah,
crazy.
he's-
I mean, he's at 66% completion percentage too. So he's not even like, it's not like they're just bombing it every play. Like he's
He's playing
Here's
extraordinarily
the thing, though.
Yeah.
I feel like they said the same things about Dak Prescott a few years ago. And I was looking at it. His first year, he had 3,600 yards, 23 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, and a 67% completion percentage.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
you're not wrong.
that's like part of me is like, wow, he's kind of crazy. Part of me is like, when the pieces start falling off, like, Kareem Hunt's injured or like
He-
somebody else, like,
He's just a better quarterback though than Dak.
yeah.
In my opinion.
I think that's the main difference here is that Pat Mahomes might have the strongest arm in the NFL,
Mhm.
just straight up, like right now. I mean, Josh Allen might beat him. On,
It's
like,
so funny that Josh Allen isn't in consideration.
but like
Strongest
He
arm.
hurdled a
Yeah.
man.
He did hurdle him, man. I watched it.
But like Pat Mahomes is like the dream of every offensive coordinator
Yeah.
since 1902. Like he can throw it like 80 yards from his knees, and he also can hit the broadside
Yeah.
of a
Al
barn.
Davis is like
Like
climbing
Josh
out
Allen.
of his grave right now. Like trade the entire team. We need him.
Yeah, just pull a Ditka and trade the
Yeah.
whole draft for.
Except it would probably
I
be
would
a
take
good
that trade
decision.
right
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not taking that trade if I'm the Chiefs. Fuck the whole
Uh,
draft. I'm keeping.
And on the flip
Mahomes.
side, the 49ers are ready to go 1-15 and get a top draft pick.
yeah,
Jimmy G is like their whole team, and now he's gone, and
Yep.
it's like, well, this is over.
They
I
didn't
feel-
trade a lot to get him either.
Yeah.
It was like the 4th round or 5th
Second-
round.
The second
round
rounder.
pick.
Yeah,
Oh, was it second? Yeah, second round.
Like they need someone needs to tell the 49ers like it's you can't suck for Luck anymore. He's already drafted. You can't- there's no Andrew Luck on the draft board next
Speaking of
year.
more bad AFC or NFC West teams, the Seahawks actually won a game over the Cowboys, 24-13.
Against that very Dak Prescott.
Yeah, and now
Yeah.
they're both 1-2, and they both don't look very good.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's like a far cry from the Dak Ezekiel duo that we saw like
Oh, yeah.
2 or 3 years
Mhm.
ago, right? Like that is not
Well, I think
the
their
same thing
offensive
anymore.
line's a lot worse.
Yeah. Well, it always
Yeah.
has been pretty bad.
No, the
hasn't it?
first year they played, it was really good. I think they had one of the best
It was
offensive
amazing,
lines.
yeah.
For the Cowboys?
Yeah, it was probably the best in the league
Yeah.
that year. But here's the thing, right? Like I don't even think it's the offensive line struggles, because what's happening in these Cowboys games is what happened in the offseason, right? Des Bryant, they
Yep.
cut him. And now, yeah, he was declining, but they still cut their
Yeah.
number one. And then the security blanket for Tony Romo, the security blanket for Dak Prescott, Jason Witten. I'm retiring.
Yeah.
They don't have anybody on offense,
Yeah.
man. And Dak Prescott is not good enough yet to make the reads to adjust.
Mhm.
And so what is every team doing? Every DC in the league is looking at the Cowboys and they're saying, well, we're just going to stack the box and make him throw. And they keep doing that, and he can't make the
Yeah.
throws. So I think that's straight up just why they're losing. Like,
Yeah, their wide receiver one is Cole Beasley right
Oh,
now,
God.
isn't it?
Yeah.
That's not a good
No.
look.
yeah, it's not looking good.
You can always tell when the Seahawks wins because every single like Twitter post on my feed for the next day is, "Oh, Seahawks looking great." There's so many people who stream or on YouTube that are huge.
Well,
Seahawks
Seahawks
fans.
are
It's
a
insane.
big bandwagon team for a lot of people because they're out on the West Coast,
Yeah.
and so a lot of people are out there.
Oh,
but
yeah.
the Seahawks, as somebody who just hates the Seahawks because Packers and rivalry,
I hate it.
yeah, just the fail Mary, the championship game that tore my soul apart and then spit on it and then ripped it apart and then kicked out, then onside kicked it to the opposing team. It was just a wonderful game, and
Tell us how you feel about that, Coach.
honestly,
How you feel?
I don't want to talk about it. But then we've just always had a thing with the Seahawks, so it's fun to finally see them losing. But at the same time, I'm like, why are they bad? Well, they lost Richard Sherman. Cam Chancellor is gone. Pretty much
He's moved.
everybody on their defense is gone. I think Earl Bennett, or not Earl Bennett, Earl Thomas
Earl
is
Thomas.
like the only person left on their
Yep.
defense, and he wants to leave for good reason.
Yep.
So it's like,
But they got Janikowski, though, the all-time scoringest player in history.
well, and then Russell Wilson's literally carrying the offense on his back. So they have no offensive line. Their wide receivers are like Doug Baldwin, and that's it. And I still don't know who their running back is. So it's,
Chris Carson.
yeah, I thought it was Rawls, but I think Rawls is gone. I don't even remember.
Yeah, he was in our training camp and
Oh.
we cut him.
Yeah, he was gone
All
for
right.
a while.
Well, the Seahawks, yeah, they need a lot of help.
I want them to put Pete Carroll in the middle of like the backfield. Hand him the ball and then just walk away. Just let him get slaughtered.
As he chews his gum.
Yeah.
Aggressive.
Yeah,
All right, youngins, get ready. High formation.
Hey,
I
here's the
I
thing.
hate Pete Carroll so much.
I'm not gonna look. I like the Seahawks, and I know that's probably a differing opinion from everyone else in this call.
And Rob is a streamer. See, I told you. I told you. He's a
I like, look,
Seahawk fan.
I like Russell Wilson. I think he's a fun
Oh my
character.
god, I almost
But-
forgot about the we'll take the ball and we're gonna score. Screw you, Matt Hasselbeck, you suck ass.
Hasselcrack.
That's what started it.
But if you've been watching these games, I mean, I've been watching the Seahawks games, and Russell
Oh, we
Wilson.
know you have, Rob. We know.
He's seeing ghosts in the pocket a little bit, and I totally understand that because he's taking a stupid amount of sacks like for the past couple of years. But and then yesterday he did, or 2 days ago he did. He had a good game. I mean, he played well. He played like Russell Wilson's supposed to play.
Yep.
So I look. I think the league is better if Russell Wilson is playing well. Is all I'm gonna say.
Sure, certainly, of course.
By the way, did you know he's 29?
Oh wow, I didn't.
Yeah.
Huh.
I don't care about him enough to know that.
Yeah. And then finally we had the battle for Los Angeles, and can you believe that the Rams won? Unbelievable.
And the Chargers were a participant, just like they are for the entirety of their existence. For now.
Yep.
So that was like a classic Chargers game too. Just like turn the ball over, don't play defense. Phillip Rivers just is a.
How you feeling about your boy Todd Gurley going ham, Coach?
I still can't forget that one year I took him in fantasy and he didn't do anything. And I was like, well, he's useless. And then he went off the next year and this year, and it's great.
For the record, Coach Crendor always references Gurley.
I was so excited. I had the number one pick, and I'm like, Todd Gurley, here we go. Picked his worst year to do that.
Todd Gurley, that's out.
Crendor's so bad. He's so bad.
Yeah, the Rams are looking good. They're probably one of the top teams in the NFC right now, if not the top team.
It's just the
yeah.
Goff Gurley
Easily.
combo that's getting them through the games here. I haven't really been paying attention
They got
to
Goff,
it.
they got Gurley.
Robert
came out of nowhere.
Kupp is pretty good at wide receiver. I think they got a few other ones. They got a good defense.
Robert Woods.
In that Chargers game, Robert Woods 10 receptions, 104
Yeah.
yards, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, he had two TDs and 100.
They've got like their secondaries like Aqib Talib.
Oh yeah,
they have
got
Sam
Talib, okay.
Shields like reviving old Packers out of like nowhere.
Damn, Sam
Yeah.
Shields is 38, isn't he?
Shields-
Oh, he's only
well,
30?
he's had
What?
concussion problems, which is why the Packers.
Okay.
He'd still be on the
Yeah.
Packers.
which makes him like 65.
So
Right,
like
yeah.
he's
And then, of course,
Aaron Donald. They have
too,
Sue.
you know.
They also have Sue.
Don't forget. Yeah, I was just getting ready to say, don't forget about
So they have
that.
a pretty crazy defense. But I mean, yeah, Sam Shields, he was really good for the Packers, and he just got so many concussions. They're like, hey man, like we're gonna let you retire because like this isn't good. And then he's like, I want to come back, and they're like, all right. But I mean, he got interceptions, so whatever.
Yeah, you really should.
Yeah.
though. You got millions. You don't
Yeah.
need more.
So anyway, before we look ahead to next week's games and make predictions, you got any? I know Sinvicto's like, I got some stuff to look at. Do you,
That
do you
does
have
sound like
stuff
him.
to look at, Sinvicta?
Does that sound like me?
Yes.
I don't know.
I got something for Civic to look at in the private text.
Okay, well, that's just being ridiculous now. All right, power rankings are going to go
All
through
right,
the
power
top 10
rankings.
really fast here. Tell me if these actually sound like they are surprise Coach Crendor. Number 1, LA Rams 3-0. Number 1, 2 weeks in a
Is this
row now
NFL.com?
that they have been considered number 1.
Is this NFL.com's rankings?
This is
Okay.
NFL.com, the official website
All right.
of the league that doesn't let you touch
All right, yeah.
quarterbacks.
Who's number 2?
Number 1, Rams. 2, Chiefs,
Okay.
making their way up from number 4. 3, Eagles, making all the way up from number 8. And rounding out the top 5, Jaguars, for some odd reason, and Panthers.
Okay. Yeah.
And then of course Rob's favorite team with their favorite quarterback, Saints at 6, Steelers at 7, Bucks at 8, Vikings at 9, and the Miami Dolphins making the second
I
highest
swear to
odds
God, they just
at number 10.
NFL.com just rides the hype train of like, look at these teams. It doesn't matter who they played against. Just look at their record.
Yeah.
How are the Vikings?
I don't
up
know.
there
The Vikings
still?
aren't good.
And the Jaguars. Why are the Jaguars like in the top
Like,
4.
okay, I would say
ridiculous.
I'd probably put the Chiefs at number 1 right now. I'd say the Rams are 2. I'd
Yep.
say the Eagles are 3 because they're still the Eagles. I'd probably put I didn't say the Patriots. I'd still put up there because it's still the Patriots. I still don't count them out.
Patriots
Nobody's
fell.
gonna put them up there when they're 1 and 2, but
Yeah.
just wait 5 weeks.
Well,
Yeah.
the Patriots, despite being 1 and 2, are still ranked 13th.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not
Dude,
surprised.
can I devil's advocate a little bit though?
You may.
I want
Rob.
a devil's advocate because
You
I mean
may.
it's been something I've been dreaming of for literally a decade now. Hey, look, I'm still not counting out the Patriots. That's the
Yeah.
smart play. However, a couple of those plays, like the
I know exactly the line of thinking you're already going.
I'm just saying that
Please finish, but I already have the answer.
that deep shot where he threw it into I don't know who it was. I think it was Dorsett who had 2 guys beat.
Yeah,
And
yeah, he overthrew him by like 4 yards.
no, he underthrew him and got a pick on that one. The one
Oh, that
I'm
one,
thinking of.
yeah. There was another one where he overthrew a guy too for an easy.
Yeah. So I mean, I mean, look, he's older, but again, here's the thing with Tom Brady: his game has never been about how physically gifted he is. Never once in his career. So it's still not cause for
Yeah.
concern, I think. But it's not a good look.
Look, I will be so shocked if we don't get a first round bye in the playoffs this year. And that's where I still am. Like
Yeah.
I'm at the point where like this doesn't phase me, dude. Like this
Yeah.
game does not matter. Brady's still Brady. The offense is going to figure it out. We're getting Edelman back. We might actually have Josh fucking Gordon for God's sake. Like we're going to
Forgot
be
that
fine.
Josh Allen
And,
arrived in
knowing
the,
my
the
luck.
division, guys. It's over.
Yeah, I know. I'm a little worried
He
about
can
that.
hurdle
people.
people.
He looks really good in shorts too.
I'll give anyone a Buffalo nickel if you can name the bottom 4 in the power rankings. A Buffalo nickel goes to anyone. Bottom 4.
Buffalo's in there. Gotta
I'd
be.
say 49ers,
Wow.
Texans,
Cards.
Cardinals.
Yes.
That Cardinals down there, right?
Cards
Yeah.
have to be. Yeah.
How
Other two-
about
Go for it, Bear.
the Texans? Did we already say that?
Nope. They just
Okay.
missed the cut.
Giants.
Cowboys.
Giants?
No. The other two teams that round out the bottom 4 in this order: Jets, Raiders, 49ers, Cardinals.
Huh.
Ooh, the bottom 4, man.
Apparently,
Yeah.
losing to the Cleveland Browns drops you 4 points in the power rankings on
You know?
NFL.com.
Maybe
That's
it
fair,
should.
honestly. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fair.
And for the final trivia, who can guess what place the Browns are?
22nd.
Rob was the closest while going over with
Huh.
20th,
I mean,
Okay.
yeah,
but Bear
Hey,
was
dude.
technically the closest.
I said it last week. I'll say it again this week. Cleveland Browns.
they're a good team.
They're a good team.
They are a good team.
Good team.
They just got to get past Hugh
Yeah.
Jackson. And if they do that,
Yeah.
then they're going to be good. Plus, I mean, look, Hugh Jackson was a really good offensive
Mhm.
coordinator. So, you
Yeah.
never know.
So let's
Yeah.
see. I'm gonna read a few headlines here just because I think there's some interesting stuff. Matt Moore turned down a Titans workout. Well,
Still
not
playing?
no, he turned it down. Chris Conti on the Bucks heading to the IR.
He got stiff armed so hard it broke
Jesus.
his knee.
Yeah, he got sent to the Shadow Realm on that stiff
Um,
arm. Like, that was insane.
It was like watching an episode of us playing Gang Beasts.
Patrick Robinson to the IR on the Saints. That's not good
Yeah,
for them.
that sucks.
Panthers acquire Marshall Newhouse. What a pickup. And Everson Griffin on the Vikings won't play because he's having mental health
Yeah.
issues.
Oh,
Yeah,
that
that
sucks.
is interesting.
That's
And the
unfortunate.
Titans have also signed Austin Davis. Crazy pickup. Also, Todd Bowles to call more
Austin.
plays on defense.
Thank God.
Yay!
Yep.
Something.
And it seems
Jesus.
unlikely Winston starts this week, is the final thing.
Yeah. Hey, actually, I got a news.
All right.
I got a news topic for you. The competition committee is meeting next week to talk about the sacking
Oh.
quarterback rule. Yeah,
Very good
and
news.
now here's the thing: the NFL typically does not patch the game like
Yeah.
mid-season. They usually wait until the off-season, no matter what happens. But I think they might actually they might change some
I think
rules
so,
mid-season here.
Wait, are you telling me they changed the way that you can sack a quarterback? Tell me this is brand new news to me.
No, I'm saying next week they're meeting to discuss what they're going to
Yeah.
do about it.
This is like a replacement ref situation all over again. And just like last time, it's the Packers with the making every cause for concern with the fail Marys.
All you gotta do is let the Packers suffer enough, and all of a sudden things get changed.
All right, so next week games: Vikings, Rams is Thursday night. I'm liking the Rams after seeing the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, I gotta go with Rams there.
Yeah, Rams.
Yep.
Smart money's on the Rams, but I'm going to
Oh
be
my
the
God.
wild card. Vikings, baby, let's
There he
roll!
is.
All right,
Go
so
Vikes!
if you want to have a free bet win, go ahead and bet against Alpaca Patrol this week.
Hey, we should check our stats.
Oh yeah,
on
we
who
should.
was right
It's
in our
like on those
predictions,
like Fox and CBS shows. We're like, take a look at Terry's numbers. Take a look.
And they always let Coach go last, which is great.
Yeah.
Coach knows best.
Jets Jaguars. Well, I mean, I'd have to go Jaguars. Just
I think that's fair.
I'm thinking there's going to be a tie.
well, it's plausible.
I don't think they're gonna score any points. Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
a 0-0 game. No, I think Jags are just going to take it.
Jags, yeah.
All right, Rob.
I'm assuming the Jags have a great pass rush. I actually don't know much about
Yeah.
the team.
Their defense is solid.
But if they do, our team is doing the brave thing of not playing with an offensive line this year, so the Jags are probably going to win.
Well, don't worry because
Smart.
Darnold won't
Yeah.
get sacked. So
Dolphins Patriots.
I'll let you guys go.
this it's gonna be the Pats. I mean, they're playing in New
Yeah.
England, and the Patriots gonna be looking for blood. So
I'd go
Wow.
Patriots here. I don't.
yeah,
I said the Dolphins
it's hard to root
aren't
against
a
them.
real 3-0 team, and I'm going to stand by it.
solid
Can
call,
you
coach.
can you remember the last time the New England Patriots lost 3 games straight?
No, I
No.
don't think so.
I don't know.
That'd be back in 2002.
Oof.
Oh,
And that's the only time Brady has ever lost 3 in a
Damn.
row in
That
his
is-
career.
You know what was also 2002?
What was in 2002, Rob?
The last time the Patriots were 2 games back in the division to the Miami Dolphins.
This is-
Also
I-
true.
These are just
Well,
more of those
he
facts that
does
pop up
history
during the game.
repeat.
Just like, can you believe in 2002 was the last time Tom Brady lost it? Oh my God, there was one stat in the Super
I'm
Bowl
just
like
trying
that.
to-
They're like, this is the first time in the third quarter that at 5-minute mark there's been a play like that. Like, okay.
When it's been 87 degrees outside and no one's
That's crazy. By the way, 2002, World of Warcraft wasn't even a game yet.
yeah.
Whoa! That is
YouTube
Yeah.
didn't exist. YouTube didn't exist
didn't
for,
exist. That's
for
hilarious.
3 more years. We have to wait.
That's a great
Yeah.
point of reference for that stat. But
In
anyway,
2000 2002 was also a year after the Bucks won the Super Bowl.
indeed. Yeah.
There you
So
go. That's what I base my
I have
history on.
a hell of a lot of confidence in the Patriots at home against the Dolphins on Sunday.
Yeah, Patriots don't lose to the Dolphins at home. No way.
Well, the Tom Brady, I just looked it up. His record against the Dolphins is 20-10. So they take wins off them, but
They're one of they're probably our toughest divisional opponent above
Yeah.
the Bills and the Jets.
All right, then we got Eagles Titans. This is like a 50-50 to me right now. Yeah,
You think so?
I think the Titans could probably shut down the Eagles, but it's going to be another like 6-9 game.
yeah, man.
So
yeah.
I think the Eagles are gonna win this one, but I don't know what the Eagles are doing, man. Like they just look weird this year.
I'm going to go off of the NFL.com power rankings and say Eagles are going to win
all right,
this.
good guess.
More like win this eagly.
Oh, I'm taking
Yeah,
the
I'm
Eagles
taking
too,
the Eagles
honestly.
too. You know what? I'll take Titans. I'll mix it up. I'm going Titans.
Hey, actually, one thing: Eagles Colts game, last play of the game, they took out Andrew Luck, put in Jacoby Brissett for the Hail
Oh.
Mary. What's that say? Yeah.
Well, Jacoby does have a hell of an
Yeah.
arm. I'm not sure.
yeah.
I mean, I don't know if I trust Andrew Luck to throw a Hail Mary at this point.
He probably just didn't want him
Yeah.
to throw his arm out, really. They
Right.
just
He
didn't
can
want
barely throw
him
like
to
20
take care of
yards
that.
still. He's like working
You
his
mean
way.
like
Yeah.
the way the bear put it sounds like he's gonna throw his arm actually like.
Hey.
Hey.
All right, so there we go. We're back. My power died. Sorry. So what did we have? We had Texans,
Well, we left
Colts.
off. Texans and Colts. We had all kind of unanimously come to Colts, and then Bills, Packers.
Yeah.
Same story. Packers
Well-
are looking like the way to go.
I think the Texans are gonna beat the Colts. Rewind.
You think so?
Hey,
Yeah.
I had that similar fence. Maybe I'll join you.
Yeah, join me.
Oh, just
Uh,
because Krendor thinks so.
Well, now it's us
Well,
right
I mean,
there. Let's go.
It was 2 against 1. Now it's 2 against 2. This seems
Yeah.
a little bit worried.
And then Packers, Bills. Oh, Packers, no doubt. I'm actually very scared though. I think I don't know at this point.
It's
Yeah.
gonna be hilarious.
If they get more flags thrown, or if Josh Allen starts like tearing us up
Hurdling
or
people.
something, hurdling everybody,
Yeah.
it'll be bad. But I hope it's not bad.
I hope it's
Uh,
bad because I can't wait to make fun of the Packers for the rest of the season.
Okay.
losing to the Bills.
Uh,
but I still think that they're gonna. I still think they're gonna beat Buffalo, coach.
okay. Cowboys, Lions. You get that one?
We
no,
were on
just
Rob with the
talking about
toss-up.
it.
Oh, okay.
I said it's probably gonna be Lions.
I'd say Lions too.
What was it? Lions what? Lions who?
Cowboys.
Cowboys? Yeah, it's got to be Lions, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's in Dallas though, so
Yeah. But at the same time, I mean, like, what are they like in that game that they lost last week? Ezekiel Elliott had over 100 yards.
yeah.
Like, I don't know what did they do?
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
got 127 with 7.9 average yards per carry. Like, I don't know, how do you win games if that's if that's not
I'm
enough?
pretty
Yeah.
sure that the Lions defense is going to shred Dak to pieces.
Probably, yeah. Darius
Uh,
Slay's a god.
Dak
play
is
Slay.
cack.
Bears, Bucks.
Tampa has to and needs to win this.
I hope the Bucks win, so I'm gonna pick them out of that respect because I
Yep.
don't like the Bears.
I think the Bears are gonna win.
You think so?
Yeah.
Damn it, Bear! This is why
Sorry,
your
man.
name is Bear.
I
knew it.
know. I mean, I
Freaking
can't really
knew
go
it.
against them, right? But yeah, they've got a lot of defensive talent right now. That's usually enough to win football games.
Yeah.
Over
Uh,
under on Khalil Mack interceptions is 2.
He gets a sack in this game. Like, I think it's actually statistically guaranteed that he gets at least 1 sack in this game. 'cause
it
he's
really
playing
is,
that
yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm still starting the Chicago defense. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. I think so. Last week, right? Like with who were the Bucks playing again? I keep forgetting.
Steelers.
Steelers, right?
It was,
Okay,
it
so
was literally less than 24 hours ago, Rob.
well, I know. I forget these things. Ryan Fitzpatrick's a gunslinger, man. And if it needs to go into a shootout, he's willing to shoot it out. And I don't think Mitch Trubisky can shoot it out right now. Like, I don't
Well,
think he
I don't
wins in
think-
a shootout.
Like, Fitzpatrick versus Bears defense? What's your verdict?
What's their secondary like? I actually don't
It's
know.
pretty good.
The
Yeah.
Bears secondary, it's pretty darn
Well,
strong.
they got
Yeah.
Kyle Fuller, who can't catch interceptions,
Right.
but he can knock passes away. They have Prince Amukamara, who's been pretty solid.
Right. Okay.
They have Eddie
been around
Jackson, safety. He's played at Alabama, I think. He's pretty legit. Like, they have a pretty good secondary.
Yeah. Okay.
Like,
Yeah.
they have,
Trevathan, too, sounds
they have,
familiar.
like-
Why do I know
Trevathan's
that?
good. Yeah.
yeah, they have a legit top 5 defense.
Yeah. Oh, hey, by the way, one quick thing. This is Darius Slay. Lions cornerback Darius Slay on holding Tom Brady to 133 passing yards. That shit is amazing. That shit is crazy. We was like, ooh. I looked up there. And
Nice.
said, "Damn, we doing this shit for real."
Nice.
It's gonna be
Quality
the greatest copy pasta for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
quality take.
Then we have the Bengals Falcons.
I hate to say it. I hate to say it,
Kinda.
but it's going to be Falcons. I hate to say it. Atlanta at home, coming off of a hard loss to New Orleans, they're going to be looking for
Yeah.
revenge.
I think you're right.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Seahawks Cardinals.
Game of the week, right
Game of
here.
the week.
if this isn't the game of the week, the next one certainly is. But this one, honestly, I got to go Cardinals.
Yeah, actually, I was gonna go Cardinals too. Weirdly enough, I don't think the Seahawks have enough to take them at home.
Yes,
I think
yes.
the Cardinals
Josh
gotta
Rosen's
win a
gonna
game.
start?
Yes. I think he will.
I guess, yeah.
I don't care.
Well, they
that's-
should
yeah.
start Sam Bradford, but
That's-
apparently
that's
they're
a
not
hot
gonna.
Yeah.
Remember before the season, when everyone was like, "Hey, the NFC West, that's going to be a really competitive division."
Yeah, I remember that.
Coach, who do you have?
I think the Cardinals too.
You
Okay.
think so?
They
I'm
got to
taking
win a
the
game.
Seahawks.
Yeah.
I still don't think the Seahawks are like that good, so I think they're just. I think this will be the
The
Cardinals
NFC
win.
West, they always play each other like at 2 levels above the actual
Yeah.
competency level of the team itself.
They play each other like everyone plays against the Patriots. Everyone just naturally wants to play harder.
Here's the barn burner: Browns Raiders.
Woo! Go
Browns.
Browns!
Taking
Go
the Browns.
It's got to be
It's-
the Browns, man.
Win number 2, baby. Let's
I'm,
go.
I'm predicting Brownies win the rest of the season. They win out. Absolutely.
well, I mean-
undefeated with Baker.
14 1-1.
Yeah.
I think someone's been eating too many Browns. Got to take the Browns. I see this game being a slobber knocker. Final score 21-14 Browns.
Nah, 15-10. Book it.
No, you know what? I got a better one for you.
2-7.
77-0.
Oh,
is what it's
shit.
gonna be.
Baker
Browns.
Mayfield throws for 11 touchdowns.
Yeah, you think Pat Mahomes was hot shit, throwing for 13
Beats
touchdowns?
his record for the first 3 in a game. Fuck you.
14
Actually, you know
touchdowns in one game.
Screw it. I think the Browns are gonna lose. I'm going back. All right.
Oh,
I think the
shit.
Raiders. They're at home. They want to win. They're gonna get the win. They're gonna send the Browns back to loser town where they belong.
No. Oh,
Jeez.
ouch.
Coach
Yeah.
going savage.
Dude, the Raiders, they lead the game until like the third quarter, and they all like have to go home and watch
Yeah,
Wheel
that's
of
how-
Fortune.
That's how losses happen, Coach.
Well, you know, I think this time around, I think they're gonna come out and they're gonna actually win. I don't know. Let's go. I'm gonna go Raiders. Screw it.
right.
Saints Giants. Oof.
Saints.
Saints.
Yeah, that's
It's
Saints.
not- that's
I
not-
hate saying that the other NFC South teams are going to win, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although, you know, last weekend.
damn it, Rob!
Last weekend was upset weekend, is all I'm saying. So maybe we're
Yeah,
all
so this
wrong on
weekend
all
is
these.
normal weekend.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah.
49ers Chargers. It's gotta be Chargers.
I'm going Niners.
Cool.
You think so?
I
think
think know who their
Garoppolo-
quarterback is.
No, Garoppolo's out.
That's
Oh,
a
he is?
bold-
Okay,
That's a
my
bold
ACL.
player.
ACL.
Sorry. With that in mind, then maybe not.
No,
Yeah,
you
it's
guys are
like-
supposed to tell him that until he puts the money on the table. You guys are terrible at this. It's gonna be San Diego, or it's gonna be San Diego.
Yeah, it's
They
gonna
keep
be
calling him San Diego. Let's
They are
stick it
San
to the
Diego.
They're San
Fuck you,
Diego.
Spanos.
I
Yeah.
refuse to call them Los Angeles. Sorry, they are the San Diego Chargers.
Fucking
San
Uh,
Diego Superchargers.
Ravens Steelers. That's gonna be a good game. Sunday night.
Those two teams always play each other hard.
Yep.
I see the Steelers winning, but it's gonna be a close game.
That's a coin flip.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm gonna go Steelers too.
I'm gonna go Ravens.
Yeah,
Yeah.
respectable. I'll
I
take.
think coming off that Bucks game, I think the Steelers have got to take this.
You know what? Grindor, I'm joining you. I'm taking the Ravens.
All
Us
right.
versus them again,
Up
Bear.
on the Raven train.
Yeah, go with Crendor all damn
Now-
day.
Battle has been drawn this day.
And Monday night, Chiefs Broncos.
Oh my god.
Have
That
you
was a
ever
pretty good
seen? Have you ever seen that video of a horse going into like that, like industrial strength grinder, like in a processing? It's
No!
a processing.
No,
it's a
I haven't
processing
seen
plant
that.
video.
Of course I haven't seen that.
It's a dead horse being dropped to like an
That
industrial.
doesn't make
can't.
it much better, to be honest with you.
I don't think I've seen that one either.
It's for processing. It's what they do with dead animals and they make it in dog food. That's only going to be half of what's going to happen to the Broncos.
You think so, dude? I think Monday Night Football in Denver. There's a chance some people get shocked on Monday night.
Yeah, hold on. I'm looking
Hopefully
up the
not.
Chiefs'
Pat
schedule
Mahomes,
right now.
5 touchdowns.
Dude, because hear me out. Von Miller and Bradley Chubb. I don't know if the Chiefs have faced the pass rush that good so far.
Has Mahomes played in prime time yet?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Yeah.
So this is going to be a big test.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
played
on the
Chargers, Steelers, and Niners. So
Mile High, dude. People underestimate how difficult it is to play there.
mhm.
Yeah, that's true.
they're gonna get gassed, especially with how fast they run.
Yeah.
It's
We'll
gonna
see.
be a horse being dropped into a shred.
If you haven't seen the video, you need the point of reference to understand how this
Yeah.
is going to go
Yeah,
down.
of course.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't think anyone could possibly take anyone but the Broncos after what Mahomes has done
Yeah.
in 3 weeks. Like you just can't, right? But
You mean
Yeah.
the Chiefs?
Me and the
yeah,
Chiefs.
that's what I meant.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, take the Chiefs.
I'm going to go with the Broncos, though.
Whoa! I just said no one can do that.
I know, but I like
Rob said
I like the way you
I
set
made
that up.
the rule.
I'm sorry. I like to break rules. I'm going to go with the Broncos.
Okay.
All right.
This is coming from a man who was going to take the Niners this week.
I mean, before. Well, hold on. Who is their backup beyond Garoppolo?
I don't know.
Beat hard. CJ
Beat hard. Oh, boy.
Oh
Okay.
no.
Never mind.
Yeah.
Sorry, CJ Beathard.
Yep.
That's all you got to say.
Let us know in the comments who was right, who was wrong.
Yeah.
Also, stat analysis because we don't actually
Keep
track
tracking of us, or keep
Yeah.
track of us. We don't know what to do, or how to do math.
We don't know what to do. We don't know what we're doing.
We
Yeah,
don't
we
know
don't
what
know.
we're doing. Anyway, hey, thanks for joining me again on this excellent program.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot
Yeah.
of fun.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
hopefully not all of our teams lose next week.
Yep. We're 0-4 this week.
Yeah. So should be
But-
good.
Two of us should have won if we were allowed to tackle quarterbacks.
Yeah, if we were allowed to tackle quarterbacks, we probably would have won. So it's like 2-2 technically.
Yeah.
Well, if we didn't Drew Bledsoe, Tyrod Taylor, then maybe we would have won our game
Well,
too.
if the Lions
Yeah.
didn't play better, maybe we would have won our game, too.
yeah.
Yeah,
If the
that's true.
Patriots just won the game, they would have won.
Yeah, bullshit.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
see you next week.
Bye.
See you.